Look, if you've ever dated someone who made you feel like you were losing your mind, astrology probably predicted it before your mother did. Some signs mesh like peanut butter and chocolate. Others collide like tequila and poor life choices. Today, fire starters, we're talking real compatibility, the zodiac version, the science version, and the don't text them at midnight again version. Welcome back to Plant the Spark, where we mix cosmic personality types with real world psychology, attachment theory, and my signature ethical masculinity plus ACR method, baby. This is because astrology can help your dating life, but only if you understand the traits, not the stereotypes, allowing you to engage with eminent femininity, the high value archetype of the deep, stable, and intellectually stimulating partnership with competence. Because we all know ethical masculinity and eminent femininity is the way to go. All right. Before we get to compatibility, let's talk about why astrology hits so hard. And it's rooted in really solid brain science, quite frankly. Number one, humans are wired to look for patterns, right? The brain loves predictability. Number two, there's this psychological concept known as the Barnum Effect, right? And this ensures that we believe statements about ourselves if they feel personal and a little bit vague and usually pretty positive. Now, what does that sound like? That's right, your horoscope, baby. Number three is your mirror neurons, right? Mirror neurons activate in our brains when we read a personality description, acting as if the traits are immediately manifest. And then four, you've got a little bit of evolutionary psychology. We love that stuff here at Plant the Spark, right? Theory that really can't be tested, but it sounds so good. This stuff dictates we are wired to sort people into both safe and unsafe, mate or not mate categories, right? And astrology works best as a lens, not a law, right? And that lens provides the ethical man with profound relational intelligence. I mean, guys, this stuff will help you predict how women communicate, right? Understand their emotional needs, spot their conflict triggers, and adjust your approach ethically and confidently. Guys, women gravitate toward a man who understands the archetypes, who understands different personalities and emotional nuance, right? They don't want a brick wall. They want an intelligent, grounded, ethically determined man. So, look, this is exactly what ethical masculinity is in action, right? It's awareness plus competence and relational intelligence, right? Relatability, baby. If she's an air sign, for instance, right? Gemini, Libra, the Aquarius, remember, she's going to want autonomy. So instead of demanding time, you ask, I'm focusing on X, right? X mission for the next 3 hours. What focus work are you crushing today? It's relational. Come on now. And it shows her that she can still be herself, be an autonomous person. She doesn't, you don't need to consume her, right? If she's a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, right? She needs relatedness. I mean, these guys need relatedness. During conflict, you want to validate her feeling before offering solutions. I hear that this made you feel unseen. That's understandable. Now, let's fix the process together, right? That's very relational, right? And it shows that you're still giving her autonomy. We're doing this together, right? It's not just me fixing it for you. Identify the why behind her style, right? A Virgo's constant tidiness isn't nagging. It's her core need for competence, structure. And maybe it does express itself as nagging, but that's not what it is, right? It's her need. Respond to the need, not the complaint. All right. Let's go deep into some of these signs, right? The fire sign, right? The overall vibe of the fire sign is passion, speed, boldness, right? Impulsivity and adventure, stuff like this, right? They find top compatibility with air signs. That's their best match. And other fire signs. Explosive but sexy as hell, baby. The core dating advice for the ethical man engaging in this expressive form of eminent femininity, it revolves around challenging them while maintaining your own frame. Aries loves confidence and challenge, right? And they hate clingers. They hate clinginess. So the tip is to give the eminently feminine woman quest energy, right? Invite, don't chase. Leo wants admiration without worship and loves generous affection. Thus, with a Leo, you got to praise their effort, not just the ego. And then you've got Sagittarius, right? The Sagittarius is freedom oriented. They love humor. They love new experiences. They fall in love and out of love quickly, right? They don't like pressure. They don't like pressure. So the critical action with them is to keep things light, right? But not uncertain. They don't want uncertainty. They just want it to be light, right? Let's not get too serious. So some practical fire sign tips you can use with the Aries, right? Instead of a simple dinner, right? Invite her to a competitive axe throwing session or maybe like a high intensity hike or something like that, right? You frame the date as a shared challenge. That's sexy. That's relatable. And they love that crap. Now, the Leo, look, when you're complimenting her, focus on her competence, man. Focus on her, not just her beauty. I admire the way you handled that negotiation. Your strategy was world class. That is way better than, you look hot tonight, baby. Again, you can still use that occasionally, but don't sound like that. Do not sound like that. You look hot tonight, baby. Come on now. All right, the Sagittarius, right? You want to keep all future planning provisional. Don't say we have to go to Thailand. Say, I saw this crazy hike in Thailand that would be epic if we ever found ourselves down there. Maintain autonomy for both, baby. Sagittarians love that. What about the water signs? What are we doing here? The Cancers, the Scorpio, the Pisces, right? The water signs embody emotional depth, intuition, romance, sensitivity, finding the most secure footing with earth signs or water signs. Water signs embody emotional depth, intuition, romance, sensitivity, finding their most secure footing, right, with earth signs or other water signs. Though this requires exceptional maturity. Like two water signs together can be rough, right? It's filled with a lot of drama a lot of the time. Now, listen, when dating this deeply emotional form of eminent femininity, right? Those ladies who are following my program, who the ethical man wants, well, the ethical man needs to provide stability and structure for these signs, right? If you're dating a Cancer, you need to know that they need love, they need safety, they need consistency, they need small thoughtful acts. So your tip is to be steady with these guys, right? Not smothering. Now, on the other hand, you've got Scorpio. These are the intense, magnetic. Look, they test your loyalty constantly, right? It is mandatory to set boundaries with these people, right? And do it confidently, and they'll respect you. They love strength. Pisces, dreamy, empathetic, right? They get really overwhelmed really easily. I mean, look, you have got to keep them grounded with gentle structure, right? Confident decision making, not control. They just want someone who really leads. Some tips that you can use with the Cancer: be steady, right? Commit to the Sunday check in call or the Tuesday night routine, right? Predictability equals safety for them. This is how you provide relatedness, right? Without fusing yourselves together, right? Because there needs to be some autonomy with these people. Now, the Scorpio, look, it's all about how you react to them, to be honest, right? When they test you, like the late text reply, the subtle jealousy test, right? Do not escalate. Hold your competence, right? This is your frame. Calmly state your boundary. I'm not doing your emotional guesswork. I'm available for a direct conversation later. And then you detach, right? They will respect you. It might piss them off, but they will respect it. And they will, if they love you and if they're eminently feminine and you're ethically masculine, this is a match that can really work for you. But you got to love the little conflict, a little challenge, and you got to be strong. The Pisces, right? They're prone to overwhelm. So when making weekend plans, don't give 10 options. Decide confidently. Friday is a low-key movie, Saturday is the art museum, right? Whatever. Pick your favorite appetizer. That's it. Now for my favorite, the air signs, the Gemini, me baby. June Gemini, Libra, love Libras, and the Aquarius. I like Aquarius, but honestly, like I've had a lot of problems with these people in my life. They are just too deep, too intellectual. I mean, I've dated a couple of Aquarius and like they go deeper than me sometimes, and that's difficult to do. The air element is defined by communication, right? Curiosity, intellect, independence. If you're an air sign, you cannot be with someone who won't communicate with you. You will lose it. Their best compatibility because of this is fire or other air signs, right? I mean, look, if you want to engage a highly intellectual form of the eminent femininity, you have got, you have got to meet them on a mental level. And that's what the ethically masculine man does, right? Gemini, they need novelty. They need communication. They need jokes, right? You have got to flirt with your words with the Gemini and keep it quick, witty, and chaotic, lightly chaotic. The Libra, they love balance, right? They love harmony. They love aesthetics. They like beauty. They like to tidy everything up, make it pretty, right? They notice all the freaking details. You better pay attention to what you're wearing if you're dating a Libra. The Aquarius, these people are super independent and they're really unconventional. And that's the part I really like about them. They don't like emotional pressure, right? You've got to give them space. They need space to be weird. Let them be weird, right? And then match their curiosity without demanding that emotional validation because that can be hard for the Aquarius sometimes. Now, some practical tips, right? With a Gemini, flirt smart, send a short, non sequitur text, right? That sparks a mental image. You know, you want to say something like, I just saw a squirrel trying to open a safe. I think he's your cousin, right? It's playful, it's autonomy, right? It's a playful autonomy frame. The Libra, when you show up for a date, ensure your aesthetic is on point, shoes polished, shirt pressed. They value beauty and balance. And your appearance to them reflects your internal competence, right? Your order. So it's not that they're just vain. It's not that they only sort of are looking for the highest quality of stuff, although they should be, everyone should be. But they believe that your outside reflects your inside, right? If you're sloppy, then you must be a sloppy person on the inside. The Aquarius, do not ask, how do you feel about me? You ask, how do you feel about the ethical implications of AI? Stimulate the mind, right? Their relatedness follows intellectual connection. If you get in deep with them, you get them thinking, all of a sudden they're hooked on you, right? You don't need emotional demand with them. In fact, you don't want emotional demand. You want intellect. The earth signs, the Taurus, the Virgo, the Capricorn. Why do I always date these chicks? God, I was married to a Capricorn for 20 years. I mean, that is not good for a Gemini man, or maybe it's good for us, but it is a match that is really difficult to maintain, baby. But the earth signs, they represent stability, loyalty, which is something I really love, right? I love the loyal people. I hate unloyal people, hate them. Logic, they love structure, right? Achieving the best long lasting compatibility with water or other earth signs. This isn't rocket science we're talking about here. The core of attracting this grounded form of eminent femininity is reliability and demonstrable competence. Taurus needs comfort and trust. They take things really slow. They show unwavering reliability. You get one of these guys on your side, right? They're locked in for life. Virgo, right? They also love competence and thoughtful action. You get a Virgo hooked, again, they're not leaving, right? Competence and thoughtful action is important to them, but this requires you to show that your life is clean and handled, right? With the Capricorn, they really value ambition and consistency, meaning you've got to demonstrate goals, not just ego, right? You need to match their structure. Capricorns dig a guy who's got a lot of autonomous sort of independence and is really working towards his stuff, right? That's really sexy to them. Some tips, I guess, right? The Taurus, you want to give them reliability, right? Show up 5 minutes early for the date, right? If you say you'll call at 7, call at 7. This builds the fundamental trust for that relatedness to grow. The Virgo, look, it is crucial that you look put together. Show them your life is handled. Clean your car before you pick her up. Have a clear, organized schedule for the week. Your organization reflects your mental competence. Capricorn, I mean, look, demonstrate long game ambition, right? Talk about your 3-year plan for your mission, not just, the weekend party, right? They value a partner who is a reliable co-CEO of life. Again, not everyone, and these things don't always apply to everyone. We're unique individuals here, right? We know that at Plant the Spark, but this stuff is a good, maybe not blueprint, but it's a good overlay for your blueprint, right? It adds tools for the toolbox. Look, that's your cosmic compatibility map. Next episode, we're going to dive deep into the water and earth signs in love, right? The emotional and sensual signs who crave depth, loyalty, grounding, and real masculine stability, baby. If you're an anxious avoidant or confused about your type, episode 2 clears it all up. Hit that subscribe button. Fire starters, ignite the algorithm. Spark your love life. And I'll see you in episode 2. Peace.